good whatever time of the day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express. I am Adam Filkins. With me, as always, is Phil Nickel. And we're here.
Hi.
This is live.
Live? Question mark. Live.
And
live.
So hopefully we're coming across well. Hopefully there's somebody listening.
Maybe. Somebody's checking this shit, streaming it. No. Holy crap.
Who knows? But this will also be posted later. We had a little snafu, got a late start here, but we are live. We are
full
happy to be
disclosure,
here.
we pretty much sat here and had a whole conversation, which was a full episode, and it didn't record.
It's snafu'd.
Yeah.
It's snafu'd.
I mean, normally we would.
Foobard.
The funny thing is if you've ever hung out with Adam and I at the tavern here, we pretty much just do a podcast the entire time we're here. It's just sometimes we record, sometimes we don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Our life is a podcast.
That's the general gist of the podcast, though, is that it's just sitting here having a bar conversation with a friend.
In a bar.
Drinking
beer.
Yeah, and you had some wings, I had a chicken sandwich, and it was awesome.
we had to do that before we could go live.
It was a little
great.
frustrated. Yeah, I feel good, too.
I felt pretty bad after we stopped the recording, and it did start.
Right.
But it was just our little recorder here was having an issue finishing, as we will say. And
you missed some great stuff too.
Yeah, we talked about it. We'll probably recap some of it for you.
We'll do it again. I think I can drudge up the magic again, perhaps.
Yes. One thing I do want to talk about quick before we forget and totally get into this is August 7th, Saturday, 2021, Tuscola Palooza.
Oh, shit!
Yes, Tuscola Palooza. Go to TuscolaPalooza.com, get the band lineups. We'll be there. We'll be doing something. We don't know what yet.
Yeah, we have no idea.
They haven't given us instructions.
But that's okay. That really works. That's very on brand for us.
Yeah, I believe that is by design because we're not instructable.
As long as they don't ask me to juggle, because I forgot that.
Yeah, I can't juggle real well either. But what we can do is talk. And we're pretty good at that. So I'm pretty sure
we do a great deal of that.
What we are going to do is going to have something to do with that. So
what talking? That's my wheelhouse.
Yes, I'm right in there with that. I'm all about talking a lot. So,
and if worst comes to worst, we'll just say,
"Oh yeah, well screw you guys, I'm going home."
We would never do that. We're actually sponsors of Tuscola Palooza.
Yeah, I don't know
how. Which is crazy because nobody sponsors us.
Because we are some broke dick motherfuckers.
I had a sponsor once, but once I started drinking again, he didn't want anything to do with me. That's right.
So, we've got that going again August 7th. Go out to TuscolaPalooza.com and spelt just like you would think. The County Tuscola Palooza.
With a Z.
With a Z, you loser.
Don't be a loser, you loser, like us not actually recording our podcast like you should.
Like some kind of loser wasting.
Goddamn loser.
Probably the best one we've ever done.
It was probably the best episode I've ever been part of,
Yeah, which is a low bar, but still. Still.
It's still good, but it'll be nice to be up there on stage and... I assume on stage. There's great bands though. I mean, there's a Kiss cover band that's better than even if you were to see Kiss now because
Gene Simmons is old.
And who'd want to see his bloated carcass up there trying to perform and spitting fire and changing his diapers? And
Paul Stanley all stretched into that spandex with his gut hanging out the front of it. Jesus. And his old saggy balls being tripped up on those platform shoes.
The actual Kiss when you can see Kiss in their prime.
Yeah. Or what they would perceive to be like in their prime.
Back in the 70s.
But yeah, I would want to see Paul Stanley in that. He's got that deep V cut or U-cut uniform. So, come out and see Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
National Kiss Tribute Band Act. Also going to be Infamous Quick, the 99... Sugar Punk Fairies. There's a whole lineup. Go check it out.
We know people from all those bands.
Yes, and go and buy some tickets and get ready for that.
Bring your own beer. Bring your own shelter. Bring a tent.
Bring a tent. Bring chairs.
Bring rubber gloves. Bring condoms.
Yeah.
Bring Band-Aids.
Yeah, all that.
Bring
that
water.
Kind of stuff.
Hydrate.
It's all outdoors. It's all.
It's very Tuscola Palooza like.
Yeah. If you could picture Tuscola-Palooza, that's what it is.
It's 100%.
Because it is.
Because it is.
Yes. So, all right, we got the obligatory...
now that we got that out of the way...
Yes.
Speaking of that, one of the funnest nights I ever had, you see what had happened was, I was at Eastern Michigan University... Pretty much, for a concert. And it was a killer lineup. It was a band called Solid Frog, and it was also a band called...
I remember
Solid Frog?
Yeah.
So it was Solid Frog, and it was also Smash Mouth, and it was also, Third Eye Blind.
Nice.
So we're sitting there between sets after Smash Mouth just gets up there and just kills it. I mean, somebody once told me, but they were pretty good. And we're sitting waiting, and this is a small auditorium, maybe 1,000 people. And it's between sets, and I'm sitting beside my girlfriend, and Mighty DR was there too, Derek Rich. And Tony was there too. Tony was there. Duly noted. Tony, shout out to Tony. Tony McIntyre, you say you listen. Now's the time to talk about it. I'm talking about this story. And somebody sits right behind me, and he's got his hood up, because the people that were sitting behind us stepped outside for a smoke. And I look back, and I'm thinking, it's kind of weird, but he's got his fucking hood up, and he's sitting back there, and I'm like, what the fuck's this guy's deal? All of a sudden, he leans forward, he taps me on the shoulder, and he says, hi. I said, what's up, man? He's like, what band are you here to see? And I'm like, actually, all three of them. And then he's like, oh, that's cool. So you like Third Eye Blind? I'm like, yeah, I like Third Eye Blind. They just come out with that album that put them on the map, the one-hit wonders that they were. They had a couple of hits.
Yeah, they had.
Minor hits and a major hit. And then we were talking a little bit, just banter, common banter. And finally I'm like, so how long before Third Eye Blind is going to take the stage, do you think? He's like, Third Eye Blind will be on the stage in 10 minutes. I said, where are you going to be in 10 minutes? He says, up there center stage singing. He says, Stephen Jenkins, nice to meet you. And he shakes my hand. And
very cool.
So he starts the concert, he points at us and gives us the fucking, you guys fucking rock sign. And I thought, this is fucking cool, man. Too bad I'm with my girlfriend. I probably could have gotten some serious poon had she not been with me. Of course, I still did that night. But
well, there you go.
Yeah. Actually, no. Wait, check that. She wasn't there, but I still didn't get laid. But anyway, it was boys' night out. And
I remember it well.
No, I remember it well because, you see, what had happened was that part of the story leads into this part of the story.
All right.
So we decide that we're going to go find some frat parties, because that's what you do.
Nice.
We found a frat party, and I'm sitting there, and they have a keg. And they say, you're a big guy. You want to hold people up to do keg stands? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. So I'm holding up, helping hold these, these college kids up to do keg stands. And all of a sudden I hear somebody come from the back and yell, hey, I want to help hold people up to do keg stands. And I look, and it's the lead singer of Smash Mouth. So I proceed to sit there for the next hour and a half with him holding people up to do keg stands.
Nice.
Yeah. Righteous dude, yeah.
Very, very cool.
And everybody loved the story. I mean, kids from Eastern Michigan University probably still tell that story. Like, yeah, the lead singer of Smash Mouth is some big doofus dumbass who held me up to do a keg stand once.
Probably it was the lead singer of Smash Mouth, and I think it was his fat bodyguard.
That's right. It was his fat, slightly mentally challenged bodyguard. But they sure did a good job holding me up to do a keg stand.
Yep, they sure held me up.
So that was quite an adventure. That was quite a night. We ended up stealing somebody's big, large, one of those portable stereos. Those big round ones that have the big mega bass. Remember mega bass?
Mega bass.
JVC. Mega bass.
Bass.
So for some reason, one of my buddies decided to walk off with one of those because we were at a frat party and they had done partied on down, so they were in bed and pussied out and everything. So my buddy grabs the radio. And then we run into these girls, and very, very attractive. But the problem is with these girls, you see, what had happened was they didn't like guys.
Oh,
They were lesbians, and yeah. So thanks for nothing that night anyway. But it was still fun hanging out with them.
Did you play the We Have Something in Common card?
That's right, I did. I tried to explain it to them. And they weren't having it. And so we end up rolling around Eastern Michigan University's campus, with a stolen radio, lesbians, and lots of memories about lead singers of the bands we saw that night. So, what an adventure.
Very, very cool. So I was at Corrosion and Conformity and Megadeth concert.
COC.
And it was at Cobo Arena. And I'm with my buddy Travis and my buddy Bob, and we're standing there. We're there way early. There's like, hardly anybody standing around. And this guy comes walking up, and he's got a backpack on and dreads and Birkenstocks, and he looks like any average guy touring with everybody. And he's like, let's go talk to him. My buddy Bob, he's like, let's go talk to him. I'm like, who is he? He goes, I don't know. Looks important. Let's go talk to him.
He's wearing Birkenstocks, and he looks important.
Yeah. And it's exactly what I was thinking.
You're like, this doesn't have a lot of traction. Yeah.
You know? And so we go up, and so we all three walk up like a couple of just complete goons. And the opening introduction that my buddy Bob has is, hey, what's up?
What's up?
And the guy's standing there at the sound booth, and he's like, oh, not much. You here for the show? And he's like,
why the fuck else would we be here?
Yeah. And Bob's just like, yeah, we're here for it. He goes, cool. I think it'll be a pretty good show. Bob's like, yeah, I hope so. All right, see you later.
That's it.
And we walk away.
That's the interaction.
And I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, dude, what was the point of that? He's like, I don't know. I think he's one of the bands. Well, it was a bass player for Corrosion and Conformity. But we were not cool enough to get any kind of shout-outs, and there certainly were no keg stands, and it certainly did not aid us in any kind of after-show activities with ladies.
Did I ever tell you about the time we got to have Taco Bell with Trey Cool?
No.
So I was at the Saginaw Civic Center, whatever the fuck they call it this day and age, Dow Event Center, and we were there to see a Green Day concert. And one of my buddies was in security at the time. He's done concert security for a long time. I think he no longer does it, but he did it for a lot of years. And after the show, we go up to the stage, and we're talking to my buddy because he's up there, still watching around, and pretty much everybody had left. And we're saying, hey, dude, we were drunk. Hey, we're going to Taco Bell. And we were loud, drunk assholes. All of a sudden, we hear somebody from back behind the stage say, Taco Bell? I want Taco Bell. And up comes Trey Cool, the drummer for fucking Green Day. And he's like, I'll go to Taco Bell with you guys. And he's like, are these guys all right? He asked my buddy because he sees he's clearly security. He's like, yeah, they're my friends. They're fine. So we went to the Taco Bell on Tittabawassee with Trey Cool and sat and ate Taco Bell for about an hour, then took him back.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And that's part of why we do this podcast for everyone is because we've lived way cooler lives than most people. For a couple of lame assholes. If you are listening live,
let's just say that my life was has been lame the past probably 10 to 15 years. But for about 10 years there, from about 16 to about 25, it was pretty fucking rad.
If you are listening live, I just sent out a message that you can chat with us on the show. So if by chance you are listening, we don't. I
don't know if anybody's listening to this.
Who knows? Who knows if they are or not? But
maybe
you are,
maybe the G-men are listening.
Yeah. If you are, go ahead and send us a message. Let us know you're out there. Let us know that we're morons. Let us know that our life is less interesting than yours.
Oh, by far and away.
Yeah.
So,
like, if you're at home alone petting your cat, your life is probably more interesting than ours.
Meow. Meow. So I was doing comedy back in the day in Seattle. I did some stand-up. And I was doing an act, and it was going nowhere, but, still telling some one-liners here and there, and it wasn't bad. And all of a sudden I came to the Arrival. Just out of the blue, this popped in my head. I said, I wonder what Steve Guttenberg is up to these days. Because if you remember, Steve Guttenberg was everywhere in the 90s. He was 80s and 90s, early 90s. I mean, what, Two Men and a Baby, all the Police Academy movies.
All like 12 of them?
Yeah, all 27 of them. And I went on this epic rant about Steve Guttenberg and what he really meant to my life. I mean, I would not be the comedic genius I am today without Steve Guttenberg. I'm not going to lie. Do you feel that way? You can see a lot of Gutenberg in me, can't you? I mean,
well, I wouldn't doubt that he's been in you. I mean, yes, I see a lot of Gutenberg in you.
I don't know. So I said, I bet, because Steve Guttenberg hasn't done anything for a long time, and I said, I bet you could probably pay $50 to like have Steve Guttenberg come out and just like hang out with you for a couple hours and party. And it went well, and I just went on more rants about Steve Guttenberg and things like that. And I got off stage and I said, I need to fact check this because, I just don't like putting out false information. let that marinate for a second. Anyway, I
was sitting here thinking, that doesn't seem right.
That doesn't track with this shit. That doesn't
not
track at all.
Yeah, that does not pass
so
the smell test.
I look, and you can book Steve Guttenberg, sure enough. $2,500 for an appearance or for a couple hours for your event or for whatever. So there's a number I noticed for he has an agent, of course, or an agency that works for him. They've got a couple other, they've got a stable of talents, I think William Hung was on there and a few other random people,
Nice.
Yeah. So I call this guy up, he answers the phone. It's 10 o'clock at night. This is on the West Coast. I don't know where he is. I assume probably the West Coast too, but still. 10 o'clock at night on the West Coast, that's Herculean right there. That's 1 o'clock in the morning here for
You probably
normal
lucked
humans.
out he was working from some cliff in Hawaii.
Probably something, yeah. He was on a bluff in Hawaii about to jump off or something. And I said, so, Steve Guttenberg, is it really $2,500 for an event? And he's like, yeah, that's like 2-3 hours, but Steve's pretty gracious with his time. Steve's gracious. This is his agent's words, not his. If Steve Guttenberg were to say, I'm gracious with my time, I'll give an extra hour, I'd be like, you're an asshole. But his agent said it, so I'll cut him some
I'd kind of
slack.
be like, it's 2021. What the hell else do you have to do?
Right. So I get the bright idea. I say, what if I wanted Steve Guttenberg to come spend a day with me and be my best friend? He's my best friend. And he said, $4,000. Tossed it out, just like, no thought, no anything.
Like, this is our going rate.
He's like, yeah, Steve Guttenberg will come. You can have brunch. He does like strawberries a lot. You can go tell jokes. You can, stroll around for an afternoon, maybe reenact some scenes from Police Academy, and, have a nice dinner and then some drinks. And Steve Guttenberg will be your best friend for $4,000 for a day. And this got me to thinking. And we talked about this earlier, I'm not going to lie. Will somebody please set up a GoFundMe for me to spend a day with Steve Guttenberg?
So if you
I'll
like
make a documentary video about it. We'll skip on the beach. We'll do cheesy shit.
If you'd like to send Phil Nickel to Mahoney Camp, with Steve Guttenberg, start a GoFundMe. We need 4K, 4 large, and you can make Phil's, if Phil was a dying child, this would be his Make-A-Wish Foundation thing.
Spend
but
a day with Steve
he's not.
Guttenberg.
Well, the child in him is dying as
Now,
he gets older.
Here's what I'll also offer. The top 10 donators, if we do reach the goal, they have input and give us a suggested activity that we can do with Steve Guttenberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 minutes or less in an activity that he can do with Steve Guttenberg, and we'll bring him on the podcast.
And maybe we'll FaceTime or Zoom you. We'll bring him on the podcast. Steve Guttenberg, $4,000 to be my best friend for a day.
I mean, really, that's pretty cheap for anybody to be your best friend for the
Literally, I've paid far lesser people a lot more. I'm not going to lie. So I feel like that's a bargain. I can tool around with Steve Guttenberg for an entire day and do whatever we want. I can show him the sights. I can tell him regale him with stories like from episode 2, or me shitting in a trash can, or things like that.
Maybe we could get him to do an endorsement for the unshittable trash can.
Steve Guttenberg here for the unshittable trash can.
Maybe he'd bring Jonesy with him to do some sound effects on it.
I would hope so.
He could do some sound effects of someone shitting in a trash can.
You're very good. It was like I was there again.
Yes.
So that's the Steve Guttenberg. So I do love Steve Guttenberg, and he was everywhere in the 80s and the early 90s.
He was.
Since disappeared, but I'd like to know the stats on how much he has booked in a year, because I've got to think he was hopefully financially savvy and put away a bunch of that money from those movies in the 80s and 90s.
Here's the one thing that I do know is I have also checked into other celebrities,
Right.
to see how much it is to book them for something, and I think once you've had that taste of fame,
Yeah.
it's hard to give it up. So you'll do crazy stuff for amounts of money. Like, have you seen these cameo things?
Oh, the cameo things where you can pay anywhere from, some of them are as little as $20, some of them are a couple $100, just for them to pre-record your voicemail, outgoing message, or just to say hi.
I would love to get Gary Busey to do a P&A podcast endorsement.
Look it up. Book it. I'll pay for that.
Wouldn't that just be nuts?
I'll pay for that.
Gary fucking Busey.
I'd pay for that. I bet you'd do it for $100, $150.
Oh,
Because it's what? A minute of his time?
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I'm kind of interested in that, but what I'd really like to do is have our listeners try and help us book a celebrity
any
interview.
level, or a professional athlete.
Yeah, any level, anybody that's
Current
got an
or
IMDb
former,
profile.
right.
Or
has
anybody
been in
who's
a major league. Like
major
winning the
league roster.
Yep.
Like any of the 4 major sports, hockey,
Hell,
football,
even
baseball,
even Major League
basketball.
Soccer or the WNBA.
Yeah. Just we want to bring somebody in. We're really doing this for you. We really want to bring somebody in and expose them.
Shucks, I'm starstruck.
Yeah, expose them to what this
Not
shit
expose
show
ourselves,
is.
but
No,
expose
no.
them.
No, we could bring them in over phone. They don't have to come into the podcast or anything. We'd bring them in
Need
over
not be
the
present to
phone.
win.
Correct. And if you do that, we will bring you up during that interview.
Yeah.
And credit you with that. But we need to make this happen. We need to make it happen. So, I don't even care if they were in the Black River Monster. Do you remember that movie?
I
from
do. Of
Croswell?
course I do. Yeah.
You could rent it up at Real Video and stuff years ago.
Did you see that ad on Facebook about Real Video having some movie being filmed there or something?
Yeah, I kind of want to go and do that.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'd be a good extra.
Yeah, why not? I'm always extra.
Oh, look at the fat guy looking at all the porn in the back. Why are there 2 dudes scoping out all the porn movies?
And why are they looking at dude-on-dude porn? Oh, no!
You got to think that room has gotten smaller with all the
think
free
so.
porn on the internet.
Would anybody actually rent porn now for a device like a DVD player or...
Maybe if you got a Snoopy girlfriend.
I don't... Yeah.
You got this on Betamax.
I still have porn on VHS tapes, though, so...
Well, I think everybody at one point did. There's a lot of Bush on those tapes.
A lot. A lot.
So,
The worst part is if I had a particularly good, in my mind, VHS porn video growing up, but there was this very specific part I enjoyed. And I enjoyed it way too much because I had rewound and played it so many times that the tape weakened and it broke at that spot.
Be Kind Rewind was not kind to you.
Apparently, if you view the same... Well, let's face it, all it would take is about 1 minute worth of viewing for me, and I was done with my business. And then rewind. If you do that, I don't know, anywhere between 500 and 955 times... The tape gets weak and it
Oddly
breaks.
specific. Oddly specific.
I put notches on it, like in the old days. I'd put a little mark on it every time.
Well, isn't that the beauty of online porn? Is you don't have to watch the whole video anymore of the guy walking up and ringing the doorbell
Right.
with pizza and all that. It's just
so much preamble.
he's already. When you pull up that clip, he's already in the building and the pizza's on the ground.
We already know the pizza came with extra sausage, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
ordered the pizza with extra sausage?
Yeah. I've got it for you.
You got your sausage right here.
I've got it.
Boy, this is a really nice house. Yeah, it's my stepdad's.
He's not home.
I'm going to sleep with him later.
You got any other delivery guys that want to come and have some fun? Meanwhile, you got a whole competition going on between Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's.
But for some reason, your number's got a big triple X next to it and all.
Oh boy!
I know. I just fired my plumber. Oh, jeez.
So yeah, get us a celebrity. We'll come back full circle to this. Get us if you could
Or
get
Steve Gutenberg.
If you could get us, well, he's a celebrity. He's on
course he
IMDb. But if you could get us
He's
a
my
porn
best
star,
friend.
If we could interview a porn star on the
my
air,
goodness.
dear Lord,
That's what puts everybody on the map, though, I feel like.
interviewing a porn star.
Yeah, like a major porn star.
We're not going to get a major porn star.
No, we. I mean, anymore though. What is it? What is a major porn star anymore? I mean, everybody's a porn star. If you have a video camera,
Well,
and internet,
if you got more than 300 views on YouPorn, you're a major porn star.
and I feel like that's the bar anymore.
Yeah,
It's pretty low.
yeah.
Although the nice part about things like Pornhub and YouPorn is there's things that I happen to stumble upon that I didn't know I was into until I knew I was into them. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Well, how long and how much money would it cost you to rent all that porn?
Oh God, I would be
I mean,
thousands
just
in
a
the hole.
tremendous amount.
I'd probably have carpal tunnel, and I'd be thousands in the hole. Because if I rent it, if I pay for it, I'm gonna get my money's worth. Where now, like if I'm not into it, I can just be like, next, not interested.
So
next.
what level of porn watcher are you? Like a casual, a major porn watcher, or like if you go a couple days without it, you get a message.
How
from,
are our levels? I heard we're very hard to hear.
We're very hard to hear.
Yeah, that's what I just heard. Cookie just.
Oh, well, I'll turn us up a little bit.
Turn us up a little bit.
There we go.
Level of porn that I view, I would say, I wouldn't say avid, I wouldn't say casual, somewhere in the middle. There might be weeks where I might watch 5 hours worth of porn. There might be weeks where I only watch maybe 5 minutes. It depends on my general mood, too, though.
Understandable. Well, I was going to say, does like Pornhub call you if you haven't been on a couple days and be like, are you all right?
Are you okay, dude?
Oh, I had Tommy John surgery. They're like, oh, it happens to everybody.
And I just got a vasectomy.
Happens to everybody.
Yeah. I had Tommy John surgery and a vasectomy. I figured I'd knock them both out at once.
Yeah.
Finish him.
That's right.
Finish him.
Oh,
shit!
So what else has been happening?
Other than fucking up recording podcasts, Saturday night, we talked a lot about Saturday night earlier in our failed effort.
It was.
Those ladies, holy balls.
Well, it was just a good night all around.
Yeah, we enjoyed everybody's.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the guests. We appreciate you. It was fun all the way around. The audio is a little hard to decipher because of all the background noise, but Adam's working on it.
I will have a usable audio file uploaded.
So technically, this is episode 51, but it might go down as episode 50 once we.
Well, I mean,
you can fudge
on the counter.
numbers.
On the counter, yeah. We'll fix it, but we'll call it our 50th episode celebration extravaganza. Palooza.
You goddamn Palooza.
You losers.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll get that uploaded, and I believe that my doctoring of the audio will be much, much better.
Oh yeah, you're a maestro. Remaster that shit.
Yeah, but it's taking a while because it is a 3-hour file that I'm editing.
And no, folks, it's not me talking for the full 3 hours. I'm only on for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, we spread the love around.
We did. Our guests were amazing.
They were. I mean, we had Cookie on here.
Loved it. Hey, by the way, you're welcome anytime, Cookie. Come join us for one of these some night.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. I was very impressed at your timing and just how well you fit in. Yeah, very impressed.
We might actually dub you as the show historian, too, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know more about the show than we do.
Yeah, and we're the ones saying this shit.
So, and then, we had JB, we had Ashley Wayner Palmer on there. We had Mikey Smith.
Matt
Smith. We had some beautiful ladies on from Parts Unknown.
Those ladies are way out of my league, by the way.
Not that their parts were unknown, because most of them were showing.
Yeah, by the way, those skirts were very short, and they were not sitting very ladylike, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it for the world.
It was more like a child's tube sock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
It was definitely all right.
Oh, shit!
Later on, we had Mikey Gallagher on, too, which was awesome.
Yes.
And we talked about it. Think of all the hours of broadcasting we've all done collectively together.
Oh, dear Lord.
Jesus,
thousands of hours.
Even though it probably sounded like we hadn't done any. But
and I bet you collectively we have like an hour of good broadcasting.
Of good content.
Yes. Yeah.
And I only have a minute of that. Adam has about 10.
I mean, we've got 43 hours of podcast logged.
Isn't that fucking wild?
We have a full work week where we've done nothing but a podcast.
And I wouldn't trade that for the Wild.
No, it's been fantastic. I hope everybody else
thinks
it's been all right.
We should get some sponsors one of these days. I'm just hoping. I'm thinking it'll happen. I mean, I thought we'd reach a tipping point, but...
I mean, let's be honest. We've been pretty lazy about seeking sponsors other than, like, just begging people on the podcast.
Oh, I thought they'd find us. I thought it was a quality enough product that they'd want to.
They should. Yeah. They should. It should be... They should be actively seeking us out.
Don't sell yourself short, Judd. You're a tremendous slouch.
So, yeah.
Favorite Caddyshack line there.
I'll give a... if you would like to be part of our train wreck contact us now.
Give the email.
You can contact us at pineapplenipplearsehole@gmail.com or PNA Podcast Express @gmail.com. That's the Pineapple Nipple Arsehole Podcast Express @gmail.com.
That was a long crash.
It is. But I got all through the emails with it.
I noticed that. That's like a goddamn professional.
Yeah.
So anything grinding your gears?
There's always stuff grinding my gears. I got a company at work that just won't leave me alone about an issue that's not mine.
And they keep
Like, they're
bothering
an
you about
outside company, and they keep bothering me about it.
it? We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Yeah, that's kind of the same way I feel about these guys. And
Pricks.
they keep trying to schedule a conference call with me with like 25 other people on it. I'm like, no, hash it out amongst yourselves. Leave me out of this.
Fight.
Yeah. Get after it. Oh,
You got it.
this one?
Finish him.
There you go.
There we go. So hopefully our audio is better. Cookie, if you could verify that for us, that'd be fantastic. So, what else we got to talk about?
I don't know.
Shit grinding our gears. We did talk about some friends that were dicks earlier, but I kind of feel like we lost that.
Yeah, the magic's gone there. I think we.
I mean, they're still dicks. They're still dicks.
Oh, they're guaranteed 100% still dicks, every single one of them.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Wasn't I the dick in the story I told earlier? No, you
well, we both were dicks. I told the story. I'll retell this one.
Go ahead.
So, me and some friends, which included my future wife, were playing paintball at a park after hours, after the park was closed. But it was dark. It was probably about between 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night when the neighbor thought that we were shooting the place up, thought we were shooting the playground equipment, which we were with paintballs,
Right.
Inadvertently.
But they're paintballs. Like I said,
Yeah, they're gonna
have you
wash off
seen
the next round.
Have you seen the graffiti that some of these kids write on this shit?
Yeah. And
Things that would make my mother blush.
I'm sure that we covered up like the phone number of some girl named Tammy on the slide, so she can thank us.
You're welcome.
I'm sure it was a Tammy, but
It's always Tammy.
but we had this whole thing going, and like the neighbor called and the police showed up. So when we saw the cops, me and two of my friends decided, because we were playing teams of two,
Right.
and we decided we needed to run towards a friend of mine's house, and we did. And we yelled for my future wife to come with us. And we were not married or even dating at the time. So we're like, hey, come with us. And she did not. I don't know if she didn't hear us or just thought she was better off not running. And she stayed hidden in the weeds. She was underneath a pine tree in the weeds. Never going to be seen, right? But the police were walking around the park, shining their flashlights around. She stood up and comes out, don't shoot me, blah, blah, blah,
Don't
blah,
shoot. It's a paint gun.
Yeah, so
It's not loaded.
about this time, we come walking out of the house. Of course, I'm changed all out of my camouflage. I don't have a paint gun on me. I look sane.
I like that you needed camouflage at night. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah, it would have been just good enough to dress dark, but we went full camouflage.
You went full camo.
And so we come walking up, and of course, she's relieved at that point that we're in there.
Right.
And, that we've come out, but I was kind of a dick to the cops. And they're like, where's your paintball guns? Well, no, I'm not doing that again. Not having them confiscated again. I just got them back.
Again. And this is the beauty. You told the cops this. I just got them back.
Yeah, I just got them back. I'm not going through that again. And they're like,
What did you do before?
yeah. So I didn't tell them that either. No. But
I shot a cop in the balls with a paintball.
I shoved about 50 of them down the gas tank of their car.
And then up his ass.
So then, they're like, I'm like, no. I know all the rules. I went through all this stuff because I actually had to get a lawyer to get them back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, and it was easy once I had the lawyer, but they were never going to give them back to me otherwise. So I'm like, nope, not doing that again.
Get the fuck out of here, kid.
Yeah. So I'm like, nope, not doing that again. And eventually the cops, they were pretty cool. They're like, yeah, we understand. But then the thing that they had me on, though, was they're like, well, the park does have a small sign that says that it closes at dark, and it's well after dark.
Racist.
And, of course, I was a dick about that. I'm like, what is that, a $5 misdemeanor? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, go ahead and write that and leave us alone.
Mark that down.
And I did mention, go ahead and write that if it's worth your time.
Right, if it's worth your time.
And he was just like, no, we're good. You guys, you need to leave the park, but have a good night. And so they were totally cool about it, at the time being like 20 years old.
And then you went back to the house, grabbed all the paintball equipment, and shot up the car.
Yeah, no, we did not.
Damn it.
We stood on the roof and pissed on it. No.
I pissed on a cop car before.
Oh, yeah.
It was unoccupied, but...
Still.
Yeah. Not one of my finer moments, but...
Yeah.
It's better than shitting in a trash can.
I don't know.
You don't know?
It might be equal.
They're equal.
Yeah.
I knew it was a cop car, too. It was in a back alley.
I'm sure
in
you knew it was a
Saginaw.
trash can.
Well, I was well aware it was a receptacle that was going to hold my shit.
The little did it know.
That's the classic literary. Little did he know. So picture this: it's an average morning for the trash can in the executive conference room. He was thinking he's going to get maybe some, bagel scraps from the morning breakfast, and perhaps the luncheon, maybe some pizza crust and some empty cups of ranch.
At worst, a half-eaten ice cream sandwich that would eventually melt and stick to the bottom.
And attract maybe an ant or two.
Yes.
But nothing
then-
could prepare him.
Here
For the
comes
day
the
he was about
sphincter
to
of
have.
Phil.
All of a sudden, he sees what he can only claim is a full moon.
Oh, boy. That was not a good day for that trash
Poor
can.
trash can. That's the day that trash can became a man.
Oh, boy.
What is wrong with me? Lots of things.
Yeah, there's a numerous
The list
things.
is too long. It's too long of a list.
Oh, boy.
So what else is going on?
shit!
We had a great time Saturday, though. I'm still recovering from it. Holy moly.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I had a lot of beverages, and most of them were bought for me, so thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, really, we're only here because this is our obligatory Tuesday night podcast that we are doing. That's why it's coming to you live, because we were even too lazy to record it.
It is recording, I hope.
It is recording in two spots.
Yeah.
We have recording redundancy now.
We need it's the Department of Redundancy department.
Yes. So we have that going for us.
Oh.
And I'm still waiting for somebody to chat back to us. I don't know how this looks on that end. We have like a little chat button.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that it looks all right on that end. I don't know.
Maybe somebody in India right now is like, what the hell?
Oh, well, you have a little chat bubble. You can
You can chat it up, folks. We're not used to interaction.
yeah, there's a whole spot there that you can chat. So chat.
I mean,
Send us a message.
oh hell, nobody's listening anyway.
Yeah,
It's
I
my
highly
biggest
doubt it.
fear. I truly didn't think people were listening until Saturday night when people showed up and be like, I listened to the show.
Well, I mean, let's face it. We gave no warning that we were doing this.
Right.
I did get a thing. We did have live listeners. We've had downloads of the show since. So there were people that listened.
No shit.
There were.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, chat with us. There's a whole. You can put a comment in there at the bottom. Why not? What else you doing?
If this is what sends me to hell, then so be it, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's going to.
Can't
So-
believe we're at 51 episodes of this shit, too.
No, me either. But
When we
well,
started
yeah,
this
can.
off, I
can.
remember when we started this off, it was just you and I sitting in this bar because it was closed at the time, and we just talked, and we weren't releasing it to anybody. We were just recording it. Like,
Yeah, I think the first 5 episodes were
we just literally recorded.
recorded.
And then we decided to release them. We sent them out to a few people.
Yeah.
And just the raw audio, just the files, the raw
Yeah.
files, and said, hey, listen to this, tell us what you think.
They're like, oh, it's not totally bad.
Well, considering the times and there's nothing better to do, it's okay.
Maybe the whole, apocalypse thing helps us.
I think so. Definitely seemed to work in our favor.
But it says a lot about the people who listen because it's like, well, you could die tomorrow and you're listening to our podcast.
Imagine if you died and this is what they caught you listening to.
I'd rather have a bag of Cheetos and a Ron Jeremy film in the VCR.
The old
sitting on
hedgehog
couch.
poking away.
Yeah.
and
Then-
cheese dust everywhere.
They're like, well, at least they went out doing something they enjoyed. If they're listening to this, they're going to be like, well,
Holy shit! Sorry
what
about
a
your luck.
mediocre life this sucker
Oh
had.
Christ! Better get those two bastards that put on this podcast.
Yeah,
Jeez.
well, I hope they're dead.
They're dead. They're dead. This is my sexual fantasy, not your weekend at Bernie's.
No, they will just be like, yep, we're still going. We're on
Still-
episode, 157,000.
Oh, I know. If we reach 500 episodes with this shit, I don't know.
On that whole, episode 157,000 is we haven't had a J.R. Jupiter report here in a bit, and does he also go into the future? Do you know?
J.R. Jupiter does go into the future. He can. He has that. But due to his journalistic integrity, he will disclose a few things, but nothing major. Obviously not winners of major sporting events for betting reasons and things like that. So
He's more likely to give us reports on fashion of the times.
Yeah, definitely.
And, the state of sexual promiscuity.
And he might give us maybe some ratings and what episode this podcast is on and things like
Yes.
that.
I hope it's big.
J.R. Jupiter is a character. Let me tell you, he's not what I expected when I saw him on Saturday night. He's quite dapper, actually. I expected him to be this big fat slob for some reason.
Huh.
But he's doing well. He lives in 1939.
I was shocked he's clean shaven.
Yeah.
Always wearing a fedora, but
Yeah.
very classy. He wears it like a man.
He wears those custom tailored suits that just seem to be perfect for him. It really fits his style.
Yeah.
And, he's a hardcore 1930s journalist. And the year he lives in is 1939. We pay him $35 a week, which equates to $666.97 a week in 1939 equivalent dollars.
Yeah.
So he's
But-
living high off the hog.
He did tell us Saturday that he was building one of those Sears and Roebuck houses that you
Yes.
could order from the catalog.
One of those kid houses. He
Yeah.
wants to start a family. And I asked him, I'm like, JR, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? And he's like, I do mind, but I'm 49 years old. And I'm like, you're starting a family at 49? Hey, J.R. Jupiter does what he wants, man.
Well, he just seems like one of those people that'll live forever.
Jonathan Robert Jupiter, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that he chose to go by JR, too.
Oh, yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, it's that just speaks journalism right there, just JR.
It does. And,
J.R. Jupiter here.
so does his
I can't
fedora
even
with
do
the
his
press
voice.
card in it. The press card.
Yeah, I do good
No,
impressions, but I can't J.R. Jupiter.
You do it terrible.
I can't do a J.R. Jupiter.
You do a terrible J.R. Jupiter.
Man, I could do so many so well, but I can't do J.R. Jupiter.
His sounds like a dapper 1930s, 1940s newsman. Yours sounds like
Maybe I should pick up the pace. J.R. Jupiter. No, still not getting it.
J.R. Jupiter.
J.R. Jupiter here. Reporting live from 1922. Was she a great big fat girl?
Oh, boy.
That was
Well, I'm sorry, J.R.
J.R. We'll promise to do better for you.
Yeah. Someday. But,
You know who J.R. Jupiter knows, and it fucking blew my mind? But he knows him from back in his time, way back when. He knows John McMurray. I'm
Really?
meteorologist John McMurray.
I'm meteorologist John McMurray.
Here with the forecast for the overnight.
That wasn't bad. That was solid. That was solid.
I annoy Eddie because when we're in the studio, I'll do my John McMurray impression. Like, I'll sit there and verbatim do, for your overnight hours. He's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? I'm the one that coined calling him J-Mac. We only do that on the School of
Nice.
Rock. But Eddie's like, that's awesome. I'm like, here with the weather, J-Mac. So what really blew my mind is John McMurray will sit and record all the weathers for the 4 different stations now and give the different frequencies, at each one for your WMIC weather forecast, but in the middle of them, there's little outtakes. Like, he'll talk and say things. I've never heard him swear yet, but, oh, man, that'd be so... John McMurray would be like, what the fuck was that?
With that kind of Boston Jewish accent he's got going on.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly what it is, but he And for anybody outside the area that's like, what the fuck are they talking
We're
about?
talking about meteorologist John McMurray.
I'm meteorologist John McMurray.
And
Your forecast for this evening.
Your forecast. You got to get the your
Yeah.
forecast. You got to
Forecast.
He's got that
Yeah.
forecast. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I do J-Mac an impression of him. I can't do J.R. Jupiter, but J.R. Jupiter knows John McMurray.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. The fact that both of them are such big icons.
Yeah, just titans when it
Yeah.
comes to radio and broadcast.
Yeah. My favorite picture I've ever seen of JR is where he's in front of the big, silver microphone, and it's got like the logo across the top of
Right.
it,
I think it's like KRBP or something, or what is it?
yeah, KRBPW.
Yeah.
And then there's another one, same type of picture, but on CBS, obviously.
Right.
Back when CBS was just radio.
Right.
No television.
He's got one for NBC, too.
Yeah. Well, he was all over the
He
place.
claims he invented their peacock logo.
Yeah. Actually, he was drunk when he was talking to us about that, so were you. Actually, he just said, here's my peacock.
Oh, shit, it was.
And, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
now that you mention it.
it was one of these things where he just unzipped the pants and it was just like
He says I used
on the table.
He says I used to walk into the studios at NBC and be like, "Want to see my peacock?" See, I'm
We're
trying
like-
to do my impression. I still can't get it though.
and they were like, hey, that'd be a great logo.
And apparently, his junk is colorful because they're like, we should put all kinds of different colors in the feathers.
Yeah. And that's also where they came up with the like 3-note jingle, the ding ding dong.
The ding and the first ding and the second ding are the zipper. Then it's the out. Then it's the dong.
Yeah. So he's also credited with that.
J.R. Jupiter is just a Renaissance man.
He is.
He's it's funny because J.R. Jupiter might be the real life Forrest Gump. I feel like.
I kind of
Like,
feel
and
like
it's
that too.
his experiences and endeavors that he's been about.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, what else has been going on?
Well, trying to think here. What else do I don't know. Not a whole lot. Just being a dick like always. I am.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Just working a lot. I'm tired of working. Please sponsor our podcast so I can do this for my actual day job.
Yeah, we could bring you an episode every day, which probably means that no one will ever sponsor us.
That
because it'll
means
be
we'll
like,
probably
that's-
lose sponsors. They'll pay us. See,
Yeah.
maybe we should go the opposite route, like a hostage situation,
Yeah.
where you can pay us to not do this shit,
If you would like us to stop doing live shit, then pay us money.
or the podcast in general. Not interested. Want to hear a joke? Not interested.
You've got nothing for me.
You have nothing I want. You're the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm trying to think of shit, but my mind's drawn a blank. I really did a great job in that first episode that didn't really record. I think I emptied my brain.
You could have.
Ugh. I mean, I haven't shit in a trash can lately. That's good.
Well, that's a start.
I think we should probably send J.R. Jupiter back to that fateful day. Could you imagine if he posted up in the opposite corner of the executive conference room?
Yeah.
Do you think he'd report on that? He normally likes things that are a little more historically.
With a little bit more
Significant?
journalistic integrity.
Integrity, yeah.
But I feel that the invention of the unshittable trash can, the birth of that,
the birth of that?
is very important. So I'd like to see him go back and cover that someday. I mean, we're on a live show. We normally don't get.
Do you remember the look on those girls' faces when J.R. Jupiter walked in the other night, though?
Oh,
I
geez.
have no doubt he probably could have taken any one of those young hussies home with him in 1939 and started that said family he talked about.
I mean, the moisture content in the room went up.
The humidity just went up intensely, man.
The heat that he generated walking in.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, he did look good in that pinstripe suit.
Damn. J.R. Jupiter, he's a lady killer.
He is. So, I don't know. We're going to wrap this thing up. I mean, we're nearing our time for a normal podcast.
Yeah, sorry it was a terrible podcast. Please
Yeah.
help me spend a day with Steve Gutenberg.
Help us spend a day with Steve. Help us spend a day with Steve.
Oh, shit!
Yes. Help us spend a day with Steve Gutenberg.
Yeah, I'll bring Adam along too. He's
Yes.
got to be the cameraman.
Yeah, we'll be so happy. No, we'll be the opposite of that. We'll be happy.
Here's another deal I thought of, too. If you have a business and you donate to our GoFundMe, or if you start it, somebody has to start it first. Like, we'll bring Steve Guttenberg. We'll patronize your business with Steve Guttenberg, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Locally, within so many miles.
Let's say within a 25-mile radius of Deckerville.
Yes. We will come to your business with Steve Guttenberg. There'll probably be a photo op.
Yeah.
And, you might get Phil and I in it, too. So
sorry.
Yeah, we apologize for that.
Maybe Jared Jupiter will show up and even it out.
Maybe.
I feel like he's my Tyler Durden. He really is. Like, he's everything I'm not. He's good looking. He's smart. He's just, rich.
Yeah.
He dresses nice. He has a great fashion sense. The guy knows history inside and out because he's been there.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So,
he makes me feel very inadequate. His cock.
Well, comparatively,
his cock is the NBC Peacock, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
God damn.
I've often heard people say, that kind of looks like a ball and bush.
Yeah. Should I just be thankful he's my friend at this point?
You should.
I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to tell JR that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. So that'd be the ideal day. There it is. It'd be me, Steve Guttenberg, and JR Jupiter.
Yes. Oh, wouldn't that be a fantastic day?
That'd be the perfect day.
Steve Guttenberg would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you two?
Yeah. It seems like you're the same person. I can't believe you added that drop, but I love it. All right, let's get out of here. You've been listening to the PNA Podcast Express. You can email us at pineapplenipplearsehole@gmail.com or painfulnutallergy, PNA Podcast Express @gmail.com. He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. Make good choices.